Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie Yip. To us, OC stands for our community because we believe that a community is stronger when we come together. This is a bilingual English and Vietnamese program dedicated to educating, empowering, and inspiring our community. And on our show today, we're here to talk about early intervention, the importance about getting services for your children early on, from birth even to 3 years old. We have two guests today. That's Larry Landauer, the Executive Director of the Regional Center of Orange County, and Auntie Caitlin Trung, who is a parent but also a cultural specialist at the Regional Center. Julie Yip kính chào quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV trong chương trình kiến thức y khoa, gia đình và xã hội. Hôm nay trong chương trình, Julie sẽ nói chuyện về thông tin rất là quan trọng cho quý vị, đặc biệt cho trẻ em, chương trình để cho giúp mấy trẻ em chậm phát triển. Hôm nay trên đài, Julie mời được hai người quý khách, đó là anh Larry Landauer, Executive Director của Regional Center of Orange County, và chị Caitlin Yến Trương. Chị Caitlin là một người phụ huynh có con em có chậm phát triển, mà cũng là một người cultural specialist của trung tâm của Regional Center. Welcome Larry to the show. Thank you for making time to be here.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you to Little Saigon TV. We're really pleased to be able to have this time. One of the missions of the Regional Center is to make sure we get the word out to all families in the county for, if you have any concerns, to reach out to any child that has developmental disabilities, or if there's any suspicion of a little bit slow in this area, a little bit that, then it's our cause to go out and find that person and make sure we get the therapy that's necessary to get the child back on track. So thank you again for letting us be here, and that's why we're here.
Well, Larry, thank you so much, because early intervention is something that people really don't think about, right? Because we think our kids are going to outgrow it, but the purpose of Regional Center is making sure that we ensure right. that they stay on track. Now, Ji In, welcome to the show, because you experienced this firsthand. Tell me about yourself and why you're here.
Well, thank you so much, Julie, for inviting me and Larry to be here to share about my experience and as well as the program that we offer here at the Regional Center. Caitlin Yến Trương xin kính chào quý vị khán giả của đài Little Saigon TV và rất là cảm ơn chị Julie cũng như là quý đài đã cho phép chúng tôi đến đây để mà chia sẻ những cái kinh nghiệm của Caitlin và của gia đình Caitlin cũng như là những cái dịch vụ mà Regional Center sẽ cung cấp cho con em của quý vị.
Come on, Caitlin. Larry, when we talk about early intervention, there's the Regional Center that provides services. As an executive director, what is your position there? And can you tell me your background in doing this?
My background is I'm a master's in social work. I started out actually as a service coordinator almost 35 years ago.
So you moved up on the ladder.
Yes, I worked my way all the way up through. So I was in the family homes early on and working with families at what are the services that are necessary. Today we're focusing on that early start and how important that early start is. Roughly 85% of kids that have delays no longer have delays at age 3. So it's so important. The kids are like a sponge. They gather and they get that. They can really get the assistance early on. The slightest speech, slightest occupational therapy, physical therapy. It's amazing what can be done between 18 months and 36 months. So our goal is to let's get kids to that normal limits, and I know you have a very, very special area in that area too.
Well, thank you, Larry, for sharing that, because for us, when you provide services for families early on, they need such attention and care. And as a service coordinator, you have to hold parents' hands. Right. To kind of go through the system to understand how to access these programs. And in the Vietnamese community, it's hard for us to ask for help. Mm-hmm. We're in a culture of just giving thanks, but sometimes we don't know how to ask for help or even how to receive help. What are some of your experiences along the way?
So just piggyback to what Larry just shared, that about 85% of the kids who early start really don't need the services anymore after they turn 3. And that's why I'm here today to share my experience, my son's experience with the early start
So he's
program.
one of the 85%.
Correct.
Oh.
He's fall into one of the 85%, and then he's very successful now. He's become a good student. So I want to share with the parents, have a little children, that when you see something, when you have a concern, seek help. Don't be afraid, because that's why we're here. To help the parent, to help the child to be ready to kindergarten and they can thrive, because the first 3 years is very, very, very important. I cannot indicate enough. It's very, very, very important for the child who can get out of the delay, or
Yes.
the thing that we consider as a deficit, right, Larry? But there's therapy to help them to move out of that delay, and then they can thrive and become a normal kid.
Mà chị Yến nói mình đó là khoảng 85% mấy em mà có early intervention là therapy từ birth tới 3 tuổi. Thì lúc đó mấy em đó thì nó không có chậm phát triển nữa hả? Tại tới lúc 3 tuổi phải không?
Đúng rồi, tại vì các em chậm phát triển đây không có nghĩa là disability. They just have developmental delay, not disability. So the delay and the disability is completely different
So
word.
chậm phát triển là delay.
Đúng rồi.
Disability là cái khuyết tật.
Khuyết tật, đúng rồi.
Okay.
Thì khi mà các em có những cái chậm phát triển đó, có thể là chậm phát triển về cái ngôn ngữ của các em chưa có thể diễn đạt ra được, hoặc là các em có thể chậm về những cái khả năng vận động của các em, hoặc là các em có những cái hành vi thách thức mà rất là khó để cho cha mẹ của mình khuyên dạy các em, thì nó có những cái dịch vụ trị liệu để mà giúp cho các em. Caitlin cũng hay giải thích cho gia đình của Caitlin khi mà mình mới bắt đầu cái therapy đó, cũng có rất là nhiều những cái cultural
Những người Việt Nam của mình.
Đúng rồi. And then cũng có nhiều gia đình đến gặp để mà mình chia sẻ những cái kinh nghiệm. Thì Caitlin hay nói đó là khi mà các em nó phát triển, nó giống như các em nó đang leo những cái ladder, they climb up the ladder. And then tới một cái lúc nào đó tự nhiên nó bị giống một cái tảng đá chặn vào cái đường của các em không có leo lên được, thì các bạn bị stuck ngay đó, they stuck right there. So therapy is just a way to help them, to boost them, to climb up over the stone, and then they're gonna start thrive.
Okay. Well, thank you, Caitlin, for sharing that. Nếu quý vị có trẻ em ở nhà, mình chỉ nghi ngắn về mấy em chậm phát triển, về có khó khăn gì, số điện thoại của Regional Center là 714-796-5354. Đó là cái bằng là Early Start Intake number. Larry, I was just sharing with the audience, because Caitlin and I were talking about, how it's so important that we encourage families to seek out early intervention services. As you say, it's such an effective program that 85% of these children or families who seek early intervention services, they go from being delayed to now on track in their developmentals. The other 15% of the kids, they need ongoing care. And that's when we transition to the school district. And what is the process, Larry, of that when they're done with the regional center, but they might need continual services?
Yeah, they transfer from the early start special service coordinator to what we would call the ongoing. So now the lifelong service coordinator that can actually have that case for the rest of their lives.
Even so into adulthood.
Yes, yeah. So the big change is now that person is going to be dealing with the schools more, because in the early start you're dealing with the programs, maybe early intervention programs, and the therapists that either the insurance is providing or the regional center. But at age 3 now we're working closely with the schools, so we're going to be hopefully at the IEPs with you, the individual educational plans, where the school's going to start taking over therapies and things, but. Now we'll have a relationship for the rest of your life, basically, because a developmental disability is a lifelong disability, and that would include that 15% that carry on. It's going to either be an intellectual disability, cerebral palsy, epilepsy, autism, or a condition very similar to that. So now that's a developmental disability that's lifelong, and we're going to have an ongoing relationship. And how do we meet the needs and try to give that child at that point the best start and into the long-term future. We're looking way ahead as well.
So as an executive director, you have to orchestrate all of these programs, providing services through the lifespan, essentially.
Yeah, almost 1,700 vendors for over 24,000 people.
1,700 vendors.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you have a percentage of the Asian community as part of that?
Yeah, we're running at
About 20%.
Yeah,
About
about
20%.
20%. Yes,
Okay.
I was going to. Yes.
Okay.
So-
Well, after the commercial break, we'll definitely talk a lot more in detail about all the great programs that Regional Center provides. Julie, cảm ơn quý vị khán giả. Hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Larry Landauer, Executive Director of Regional Center, với chị Caitlin Yến Chân, đó là Cultural Specialist of Regional Center. Hôm nay mình nói về chương trình của Early Start. Lúc nào mình sẽ có khả năng gọi Regional Center lúc con mình chậm phát triển. Sau cái phần chương trình đó, bé cũng có thể được nhiều cái chương trình cung cấp sau 3 tuổi, đó là mấy em bị tự kỷ, bị intellectual deficit, bị chậm phát triển, vân vân. Sau phần quảng cáo chúng tôi sẽ tiếp tục nói chuyện theo với Larry Landauer and chị Caitlin Chung. Cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV.